Welcome to the JAMODI podcast. We are all surrounded by amazing coaches and leaders. So let's get an inside look at not just what they do, but how they do what they do. After all, becoming the best versions of ourselves is JAMODI, just a matter of doing it. The JAMODI podcast is powered by Sideline Interactive. Sideline Interactive is the leading manufacturer for high-quality, innovative scoring tables and LED video display boards that help coaches and schools bring more excitement to fans, create huge fundraising opportunities, and make their jobs easier. Visit sidelineinteractive.com to check out their amazing products. You always seem to stay so positive with your guys and represent your program really well. How do you maintain that year after year?
I don't know, man. I it's so funny. I'm always self-evaluating, so I don't feel that all the time. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
One thing that we do is that kind of helps with that positive mindset is we try, and I'm not very good at this, but we try to give them things to do and avoid telling them things not to do. Because if they're doing it, they don't know the other thing. So if you say, don't do that, and expect them to change, you don't give them the alternative, and okay. But if the majority of the feedback is don't, then guess what? They're hearing they're still hearing. Don't be off balance. Don't be off balance. Don't be off balance. Say, hey, you need a stride stopper. You need a jump stopper. You need to keep your dribble. Or you need to go into a bar. And you just constantly try to give them other things. And the other thing is, I really like it here. You know, I like a lot of the kids I get to coach. You know, I enjoy it. Like, I enjoy being around these people. You know, like, my staff are my friends. Like, I have a guys' night every day. You know, I come in and it's just, I really am really, really lucky. Like, I work at a really cool place to where I have a lot of respect for the families we work with and a lot of respect for the people I work for and work with. And, you're surrounded by teachers that are always trying to get better. The administration's changing things that happen. So it's hard not to go to your office and say, okay, what am I doing? How can I grow? How can I get better? And it's a cool environment. Don't get me wrong. I can walk around and find the people that don't like it, and they're everywhere too.
They're everywhere.
But that's part of a good place. If everybody's happy, I don't think you're reaching. You got to have some people that don't like your decisions, or you're not making any hard decisions, I think, and so, like, to have those isn't a bad thing.
So I'm trying to sum up kind of a few things, because those, the ability that you've had to maintain the culture that you have there over the years. One is to, coach from a position of joy, more of the what can you do, rather than focusing on the negative. Here's what you can't do. Like, I do like the idea of know your no's, like the things that on defense you can't allow. And so I understand that concept in there, but there is a shift in, instead of those negative things, here are the things that we can do. I think that's powerful. But then, and also being at a place that you enjoy going to every day. And I think that's, why do people make changes? Why do we need to look to go somewhere other place? If you're miserable every day, is it truly the atmosphere that you're in? Is there anything you could do to help that? Or do you need to look inward? Because I would imagine you're able to see all the positives at the place where you are because of the person that you are.
Well, yeah, maybe. There's maybe a lot that goes into it, but I don't know. I haven't thought that much about it. It's a while. You know what I mean? I just really think this is a cool place. And so that's probably the lead, because even though I'm talking about folks who know what they can do, I'm not good at it. I still say it. I still say, don't do that, or what are you doing, or why? It comes out. But then you try to catch it and then say, what should you have done?
Here's a good question. Better choice. Here's a good question to ask your kids. What are some of the things that you hate that I say? And one of the phrases I would yell out is, that's not it. I just say, we do something, that's not it. And I'm right in saying that this is not what we've practiced and what we've talked about, what we're trying to achieve. But what's the point of me saying that Is it to allow all the parents to know that this isn't, hey, this isn't what we practiced. This isn't what it's supposed to look like, guys. But that was a phrase that I had to take out. And it really, the only way that I knew that is because I asked those guys, what am I saying that you don't like? And that's a pretty cool.
That's a good. I'm not texting. I'm writing that down.
No, you're good. You can.
Well, because we're having exit interviews with the seniors, and like one of the things I'm saying, what do we do? What do you wish we did less of? What do you wish you did more of? You know what I mean? So like, what is it? Something I say that
it just makes you.
Oh yeah, like what are you doing? And so another one's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna see if they notice any of the little adjustments we made. Some of the returning guys. We don't have a lot of 2-year guys. We had a couple of seniors that were. This is the only year they played varsity, so I don't know. And plus, I mean, the COVID stuff was a different animal. In terms of managing that, and I think it's going to go into even next year in terms of where kids are at and where we're at and things like that. Just you got 14 to 16-year-olds when you shut down basically for almost a year. That's a big portion of their life.
Yeah. Percentage wise, a year isn't much for me and you. No, for them, it's huge.
Yeah, like my kids were 4 when that started. Like that's a core of their life. They had a mask on and they're not doing it. So so like they take their masks off and they got sick, put it back on. Like, no, they didn't get. They got the normal stuff that you get. When you're 4. And they tested negative. I don't want to get into a COVID talk, but like it is something that you can't ignore. You know what I mean? There's going to be some growing pains coming, along with a lot of good things that came out of it. And so, but that's another thing that I think with these exit interviews that may have an impact on some of their answers. And so,
it's something definitely to keep in mind because to me it'll help you analyze and take the feedback that you need, but then also take everything they say with a little bit of a grain of salt. Like they're also coming from a really difficult time. So the negativity that they may have towards something, I don't know if that's really us as much as where they were in life in that moment.
Yeah, right. Yes, exactly. And sometimes there's some other questions you can ask. I'm sure, depending on where you can kind of get to the bottom of that as you're talking with them. But it's fun. You know what I mean? Thinking about that, I mean, those are tough ones. When you're trying to connect with kids and how to get it, it's just like they're all different. Every team's so different, and that's why you gotta like kind of start over every year and make sure they know. And there's so many years I would have just assumed they knew the pillars. Oh, they know them. And you give them a quiz and like you get 1 out of 30.
Thank you for checking out today's episode. Please take a moment to subscribe to this podcast, share it with your fellow coaches, and find us on social media for what's coming up next on the JAMODI podcast. It's just a matter of doing it.